So we continue with the poem, My Mother at 66. As we had discussed earlier, as we had started off the poem that day, what we had read about, it was the poet as she's driving or she's going to the airport, her mother is there with her in the car. There are things about the mother that makes her realize that she is growing old. What are the things that she notices? That as they're driving, her mother falls asleep, and it is in a very relaxed way, or where she's not able to control herself. Her mouth is open and she's dozing. And when the daughter looks at her, she notices her sleeping with her mouth open. She also looks at her appearance, at the color of the skin, which is looking very ashen, grayish. And at that moment, what does her mother look like? She looks like a corpse to her, a corpse, a dead body, like a dead body. She does not like that thought. She does not want that thought to come to her mind, that realization that one day she will lose her mother. So what does she do? She starts looking out the window. And as she looks outside the window, there are things happening outside. She sees the trees, she sees the young children. They are an even more stark reminder. They're even more bigger contrast. These things are they full of life. The young children coming out of their homes, jumping and running around with excitement. And inside, mother is there, sleeping, very dull, looking very lifeless. Okay, so let's see here. Let's look at the poem. So driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. As I've told you here, there are certain signs that, yes, our parents are growing old, but we ignore them. And there are times, yes, when they are, I would say, not very much in control of their situation, and they are, they've let their guard down, right? And yes, so we children, when we look at them, we realize that yes, our parents are growing old. And when does the daughter realize this? When does this thought come to her? When she sees her mother sleeping. As they're driving to the airport, her mother falls asleep. She's sleeping with her mouth open. And what does she look like? Her face ashen, like that of a corpse. Ashen grayish color, right? The color of ashes. And she's looking like a dead body, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. That pain, that thought has come that yes, my mother is old. Although when you talk about 66, it is not such an old age, but yes, our body does start showing signs of growing old. And it is a natural process, things that we cannot hide, things that we cannot control. But soon put that thought away. Why did she put that thought away? Yes, why do you think she put that thought away? Because it was not a nice thought. She can't think of her mother as growing old. She can't think of her mother as a corpse, as a dead body. And looked out at young trees sprinting. What did she see outside? So she started looking outside the window. What did she see? Trees sprinting. What's a sprint? What's a sprint? Yes, a quick run, like, yes, so you have like, so the trees, they appear to be sprinting. So that personification, you can say, it's there. And how are they sprinting? They're just running past, rushing past the window. As they're driving, the trees also seems as if they're moving along with them. The merry children spilling out of their home. Merry, happy children, full of life, out of their homes. So here inside the car, what does mother look like? She looks lifeless. Outside the car, what does the poet see? Yes, what does she see outside? She sees the trees, she sees the young children, and both of them are full of life. In contrast to mother, who's looking so grayish, who's looking so colorless, so dull, and she's looking like a corpse. And yes, the daughter does not like this thought that comes to her mind. She does not want to lose her mother. She does not want that her mother should look like that. So she puts that thought out of her mind and starts looking outside the window. Yes, what are the things that she notices outside the window? When she looks outside the car, what are the things that she sees? Full of life. What are the things that she notices? Full of life. Yes, Pulkit, Lagan. The tree and the children. Yes, the trees sprinting of, yes, exactly here. The trees, how are they sprinting? They're moving there with the car. And it seems as if they are also full of life. The younger children coming out of their homes, they're coming out to play, and they're also full of life. So it brings that contrast even more clearer. Let's see, look at mother. How is she looking? Lifeless. And outside, there is life. So they're young children, they're full of life. And the trees also, they're sprinting, they are there full of life in contrast to mother. And why did she put that thought away? Why did she put that thought away? Because she does not want to think of her mother like as a lifeless body, right? So I'll discuss the literary devices also with you all. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. So it's just like here, like, yeah, when you were young, and even if you did have a problem, and how your parents would say, Kire, no, it's nothing to worry about. And they would not make you realize how worried they were about you. Now, the daughter also doing the same, she does not want to realize that her mother is growing old. Now here, but after the airport security check, now she's reached the airport, she's got a security check, she's going to go inside, get a, like a boarding pass and everything. Standing a few yards away, I looked again at her wan pale as a late winter's moon. So she's going to go inside the airport and depart from there and go to her workplace, right? She's going to Cochin. And as she leaves her mother behind, she has realized that her mother is old, that her mother is not as young and active. But she does not like that thought. And as she's about to move again, what does she look at? She looks at her mother. How does her mother look? Wan, pale as a late winter's moon. So mother is looking very colorless. She's looking pale, so that yellowishness and that colorless. Earlier, she's saying that she was looking grayish. Now, that paleness as a late winter's moon. So the winter moon, it's quite what? Dull, dim in its light. So just like that, the mother, not very, cheerful, not very healthy, and the color of her skin is showing that, yes, that she's growing old. Felt that old, familiar ache. What old familiar ache? My childhood's fear. So she felt that old ache once again. Ache is what? Pain. Familiar, that has happened before. What is that? My childhood's fear. What is her childhood fear? The fear of losing her mother, the fear of losing her parents. So maybe she's had that fear before, and that pain, that comes when you realize that, oh my God, my mother is growing old. I don't want to lose my mother. I don't want to lose my parents. So that pain has come. My childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. So she just did not say anything. She did not say, take care of your health, and yeah, you are looking quite old, and look at, like all these things to remind herself that, see, mother is growing old. But instead, she said, see you soon, Amma. She smiled. See you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. Why do you think these were her parting words? See you soon. She wants to leave her mother with the hope that they will definitely meet again. And how does she hide her fear? Smile and smile and smile. Okay, so it is there. We are aware of things that are happening around us, but just for our benefit and not for creating maybe that fear in the mind or that pain in the mind of our parents, there are certain things that we do not acknowledge, certain things we do not say out loud. And one thing is this. So she did not want her mother to get worried about her daughter, that she's worried about her health, she's worried about her safety. But just what does she say? She just says that, see you soon, Amma. And what does she do? Smile and smile. Right? So it is, yes. Do you think the daughter did the right thing? Did she do the right thing? She just said, see you soon, and she was just smiling and smiling. And even though she's aware about the condition of her mother, even though she has realized that, yeah, mother is not as active or as healthy as before. So do you think it was the right reaction? It was the right way to part from her mother? So parting on a happy note? Yes. So she parted on a happy note without bringing that fear in the mother's mind. Yes, yes, right. Yeah, well, it is, I would say, the very correct thing to do, because she did not want her mother to worry about her. Rather, she did not want to go away carrying that fear in her mind or carrying that negative thoughts that, see what is going to happen to mother, and she will create panic for herself as for her mother. So she's parted on this note, like accepting that, yes, it is the part of life. But 2 times that thought comes to a mind. And how does she put that away? What does she do when the first time the thought comes to her mind? What did she do? When she looks at mother and she says, like, she's looking like a dead body. What does she do? She looks outside. And outside the window, what does she see? The trees, the children, and they bring an even more contrast to mother. So mother, that, lifelessness of mother, it becomes even more prominent. Yes. And then the second time, when does the thought come to her mind? Yes, a second time, when does the thought come to her mind? When she's standing outside, she's got a security check at the airport. She looks at mother, and mother is looking very wan and pale, colorless, right? And so again, she puts that thought away. And what does she say? She just smiles and says, see you soon. And she does not want mother to worry about her. Yes. So she's parted on a very happy note. She's parted on a positive note, right? So she doesn't want mother to worry about her. So it's a nice poem. Yes, it is. And you're going to say, ma'am, aapne to har ek chapter ke baad ye kehna hota ki it's nice. Right? But it is there. Yes, we realize things, they come to our mind. And maybe, our biggest childhood fear was that you come back home and your parents are not there, and panic so much that where have they gone? So we are there, like our parents are there, a pillar of strength. Aren't they? Yes, they are. And we really look towards them, that they will always be there. Yeah, so we never ever want anything to happen to them. And of course, well, that this is how life goes on, and everyone is going to grow old. But yes, it is there. Let us take care of them. Let us cherish this beautiful bond that we have. Let us, like, make them realize that, yeah, we'll be there for you when you need us. We'll definitely be there. Okay, right. Considering that how life is becoming so materialistic and so fast paced, and we are also busy with our lives, that we don't even have time for our own family members. So we need to take out time for them. Okay, yes, come on, let's get back to the poem and let's look at the devices here. Yes, can you pick out a simile from here? Look at the first page here. Find a simile from there. What's the simile over there? Yes. Where's Akriti today? Maulik? Yes, Ankit, tell me the simile. I saw my mother beside me doze, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Tushar, is there a simile over here? Yes, Akriti, very nice. So what is a simile? It's a comparison of two things, right? With the use of the word like and as. Yes, ashen like that of a corpse. Now, look at these words. Doze, open, corpse. Doze, open, corpse. There's a repetition of a sound. Which sound is repeated as I say these words? Which sound is repeated? Yes, which sound is repeated? O sound? Yes, it's a vowel sound. Very correct, yeah? And yes, the vowel sounds are repeated. Now, what do we call that literary device where there is the repetition of a vowel sound? A, E, I, O, U. E. Right? Yes, it's assonance. Very nice. And of course, yes, ma'am, very clever. You've already written it for us and we're just telling you the answer. We are more clever. So don't underestimate us. I never underestimate you, so don't worry. So yes, this is assonance, repetition of a vowel sound, right? So it is there, right? So we have these three words which are there showing that assonance. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound, and we've done many examples of alliteration in all the poems that we have read. Now, if you look at the poem, where does the full stop come? Where does the full stop come? Yes, look at the poem now, all of you. At the end, very nice. Yeah, where does the full stop come? It comes at the end, right? Yeah. And so it is just one long sentence that the poet has written. Is there any rhyme scheme over here? What do we call a poem which is not written in a rhythmic way? We don't call it a poem. Ma'am, poem has to have rhyme and rhythm. So yeah, we call it a free verse. Absolutely correct, Manpreet. We call it free verse. So the poem which is there without any regular rhyme scheme. Now, if you see also here, like, yeah, generally even we do come across so many free verse poems. If you remember the Voice of the Rain, but even then, what has the poet done? Like, of course, we have the lines there, the next line starting with a capital letter and all these. So here the poet has not followed anything at all. So generally, what we call that? We call that enjambment. Okay. So where, like that you don't have the capital letter in the next line and it is not, the proper stanzas and things like that formed. Okay. Right. So that is enjambment. Okay. So this is a free verse we have over here. We have done assonance over here. We have done simile. What is smile and smile and smile? What is that? What is that? What device can we call it? So when words are repeated, it is repetition. Yes? Is it? Varun? Tushar? Can we call that? Yes, we can. Right. Okay. Now, let us, what has mother been compared to? Where are the similes here? There is another simile again. Right? So one is the comparison with like a corpse, ashen like a corpse. Then look at the next page here. There also mother has been compared with something. What is that? Winter's moon. Yes. So I looked at her, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon. Why does she look like a late winter's moon? She's looking like a corpse because of the color, that grayish color. As she's dozing, she's looking lifeless. And so she's been compared with the corpse here. So what is the comparison that makes her with, like the winter moon? Yes, once again, that paleness, that colorless skin of mother.